Aloha. I wanted to do a video and kind of just start talking about how I had been thinking about time as a whole and in relation to consciousness and our experience, and the whole idea of time flies when you're having fun. And the opposite side of that is like when you're staring at the clock, time goes very slowly. And like when you're at work, it takes forever. And the whole mandatory space of being in these low vibrations, being in this physical reality, not allowing ourselves to go into the higher planes, not allowing ourselves to speed up time individually or collectively, and how the design of this structure, this American dream, multiplied times the colonial space of divide and conquer, the monetary system, the maritime admiralty law, all of the contracts, the soul contracts that we are forced upon us within this human experience we call today human nature. A lot of these things are not human nature. Our definitions of ourselves are given to us by these systems, like the Big Bang theory, the evolution theory, the idea that we come from monkeys. If you're told that you come from a monkey, then anything that is created in this reality is like pretty much God. Like you like if a monkey has evolved into a space to make a computer chip, then that's it. That's basically it. You've done it. You've done the most you can do. And that's what happens subconsciously to us, is that we believe in these giant storylines, but they're only giant inside of a box. They only exist largely inside of this idea that we can't let go of ourselves. Like we can't let it go because it's so bombarded in our reality. We're so like surrounded by these physical objects, these things that we believe are a part of our reality or a part of our happiness. Like our happiness, our time that's supposed to fly by is still based upon the physical reality fly by. Like there's a space that you can get into when you go into meditation that will equally fly by because you are tapped into a higher space. And you can see that these lower spaces are the spaces that get manipulated over and over again on a regular basis. The sexual programs, the reproduction programs, like this American dream in itself is just all about the creation and not having a connection with your creator. Or even entertaining the idea. And if you want to go that far into having a relationship with your creator, we have a box of Wheaties for that too. It's called the church, or it's called religion. Oh, by the way, the way God loves you more is if you give money. Is if you give money to this idea and send some Bibles down to Ecuador or something like that. Like, give us your money. So it's all based upon money. There's people that can't go an entire day without talking or referencing money, or referencing their car, or referencing something that gives them joy in their reality, that is basically all of their focus, all of their energy. Their consciousness is downloaded into the physical reality so much and downloaded into the program of control so much that it's literally a separation program. And I want to go further into it, because I was just thinking about stuff yesterday, as far as and the last few days, but as far as as time works, because I kept seeing time doesn't, like, after I did the clock, the video talking about light and dark, and how it's not the sun and the moon. It's actually the sun and the moon are actually lights. Like, the sun puts out a warm energy and the moon puts out a colder energy. And then there is actually Rahu and Ketu, which are the polarized void spaces, or the invisible opposites, or to that energy, to that so like the void space or the darkness, so the light and dark. So sun and the moon actually represent the light, and then this is how it's throwing it out as Rahu and Ketu representing the dark space. But we've been compartmentalized into thinking that the sun is the light, and then the moon is the darkness. And it didn't make sense to me until I let it go, and then broke it down to Rahu and Ketu as being the other spaces, like the sun having a dark space, a dark shadow, and then the moon also having a shadow, and then we exist in that kind of balance or relationship. But in reference to I kind of got off there. I was talking about time, light, and dark. So in reference to time not moving linearly like we are told, like the clock moves forward, but our relationship to time is more important and more real than the clock's relationship to our consciousness and how we experience time. Like when I started off the video, when I'm talking about how you can understand time flies when you're having fun, that is literally affecting time. We see it as it's kind of like the difference between coincidence and synchronicity. Like, if you go through life continually believing that you are experiencing coincidences, then your reality will reflect that interpretation. So it will slow down, and you won't see things on a regular basis because everything is a coincidence. But if you are experiencing your reality from a perspective of everything is on point, everything from your creator space, from your connection to a direct link to an understanding of spirit and your soul purpose, and you walking as a soul with spirit through time, not necessarily in time, because that's just like a linear perspective, but a part of time, experiencing time as a whole and affecting time with your consciousness, with your focus. The clock. So a part of this is the physical reality that we are bombarded with on a regular basis is actually a distraction to keep us, including the clock, including the Gregorian calendar, including the NASA program, including the limited understandings of the Mandela effect, like focusing all that energy into CERN, like seeing something as huge as the Mandela effect take shape in our reality organically. Like, this is having to do with from this perspective now, this is having to do with individuals and their their connection with their own memory banks, their connection with their own trust and intuition. These are very deeply rooted experiences that are happening, and to take that energy and focus it only on a known control group like the scientists at CERN, a known control group like the physical reality control grid as a whole, and completely separate yourself from understanding what other possibilities it could be outside of just these scientists saying, oh, we did this. Maybe they knew that something, they are aware of something shifting, and at a certain time frame they activated some kind of movie reel that goes along with the natural shifting that was happening, that is happening within each and every one of us individually and collectively as a whole, and we're experiencing it as the Mandela effect. What if they tried to co-opt this organic shift and try to create some kind of storyline that says, no, we're doing this. You're not a part of anything. It's not happening naturally. We did this in order to make themselves more powerful. That's actually how I've been seeing the Mandela effect since the beginning. And that mirrors up with the fact that you can't trust CERN as much as you can trust NASA. You can't they're full of shit. They are play school scientists messing around with plastic realities, hoping to get people to consciously create the reality that they have placed in front of you, so you can manifest the reality that they need for them to be in control. And these movies, these particular genres, you can see these are genres of movies right now. Like, why are these movies this way? Why are these genres out here like that? What is the focus of this? You can see the action, the destruction. It's all based upon this artificial, scientific, sci-fi, this artificial grid, and they're all based upon lower chakras. This is all look at the lower chakras right here. It's all about the anger, the sexual program, the emotional programming, the victimization program, the fight or flight, survival, the basic needs, the whole everything is on the physical reality space. It's within this reality. So if you as an individual in any moment can affect time by how you perceive it, whether you're having fun or whether you're staring at the clock and slowing time down, what do these movies do to our reality as a whole when we have a bombarding energy of various genres that are not at all a part of helping us to understand time, consciousness, and actually speed it up with our understanding of our reality, but actually designed to keep us stagnant in a reality of lower vibrations. With the whole dramatized, this whole reality TV is based upon, you can see, you can feel, it fucking tastes like throw up in your mouth when you understand what reality TV is. So you can see what their reality is based upon. You see what pop music is based upon, what that shit smells like. It smells like shit. It feels like shit. It compared to like the old school music that was out there, the original soul. There's no soul in it anymore. It's just empty, dry. So even the music is slowing down our progression, our time in itself. So if we these things are not out here, these genres are not out here to entertain us. This is secondary at best. These genres, these programs, this American dream, these toys are out here to affect our consciousness to further separate from its ultimate relationship to projecting its reality and experiencing its reality individually and collectively. And since we are locked into this so-called successful situation where everything is placed out in front of you, where you have a scientific university system that is actually based largely upon the atheist program. That's what science is based on. So it's actually separating yourself. We place this black box on top of our head, and we say we've made it, we did it. We've reached the top, whether it's a high school diploma, associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD, a doctorate, whatever it is. Like they say they have mastered. That's what a master's degree is. It's a psychological program. Tell you've mastered your something. And in order to even get to become a master, you have to filter your energy through money, the monetary system. You have to go through the control grid system to become a master. So if the so-called they are in charge of the system that makes you a master, then they are actually your masters. They are your gods. And then you have this distraction grid of these demigods, who are these celebrities who are now getting involved in the political process to further amplify the focus of what your reality is solely based upon. So when you have these celebrities jumping the fourth wall and jumping into your movie reel in real life, and getting involved in Black Lives Matter and this and that, and telling you, this is what it means to make change in your world, knowing that Black Lives Matter is being manipulated to tell a specific storyline. It's a prescription drug it's like an aspirin for a cancer, and that's a controlled opposition. It's a controlled demolition in order to build up a new tower of control, a new tower of expression that is supposed to look like something new. And as long as we are kept in this low vibrating space of giving our power away within this physical reality, because we base our reality largely on toys and the lower spaces, since our reality has been so dominated by the lower chakra spaces, and the higher spaces have been demonized in a lot of spaces, because religion has gotten in between and pretty much has destroyed a whole bunch of our even being open to a creative intelligence, being open to questioning the physical reality. That's the thing. These artificial demigods have gotten into our consciousness, our experience with time, and you can even go into like time travelers and all that other stuff. And relate that to like the new age stuff, and this is how I related the channelers and the channels that come through the alien technology and all that other stuff. A lot of this new age focus is heavily based upon technology and the physical reality. It doesn't really go into letting go of technology, because you see it all talking about ships and all this other stuff. So I was seeing the new age perspectives as another version of keeping us locked into, because these so-called aliens or whoever are in the future. This is actually the foundation to what brought up my whole questioning of time, and just wanting to expand this video on time as a whole, is that our future is actually based upon our moment right now. Like, our moments right now are creating the future. So if we have aliens or fucking consciousnesses that exist in the future that are coming through channels right now saying they exist 700 years in our future, then their future is largely based upon, not largely, is based upon the way we create our moments right now. So those future beings that are coming through are based upon this shitty, transhumanistic, Trump, Hillary, Obama bullshit ass foundation that is their present moment in the so-called future. So an opposite version of that would be is if we were in total harmony in like or even a 100 times better harmonics than we are right now, then those beings that exist in the so-called future wouldn't exist the way they do right now. They do the way we experience them right now. They would exist in a totally different space and have totally different things to be sharing, if they would exist at all. Because we can exist, if we were to amplify our connections with the moment and time and consciousness as a whole, then you would actually speed up time, literally. So if you can do that individually, if you can speed up time by being in your joy, in your highest, like time, when time speeds up, when you're having fun, if we were existing in a reality where we weren't bogged down so much by the physical reality, by this artificial separation grid, by this bullshit ass understandings of the cosmos and consciousness and humanity and human nature, and if we weren't bogged down by these lower vibrations, then what would that do to our relationship to time? Like, what would that do to how we experience our reality as a whole? That would literally be shifting into different dimensions. Like, our vibrations would literally shift so quickly that they would be uncontrollable. This is why the control grid, controllable by people or entities that mean to control. If you do it the right way, then you will turn these energy centers on organically. And just as you can do this individually, we can do this collectively. So an individual who can entirely shift his or her entire reality from being totally bogged down into into the physical reality and connecting to their higher mind, their spiritual connections, their deeper awareness, their meditative spaces, their totally amplified versions of reality. They would literally shift their metabolism. They would literally shift the way they experience their relationships. They would literally shift their ideas of love, their feelings, their communication, their connections to all that is. Like, it would literally be another world or worlds. If we are in a world right now, which is happening right now, and I'm seeing how the Mandela effect is kind of an example of this, with people who are being a part of this artificial grid and people who are opening themselves up to themselves and reconnecting with the organic natures of our reality. And those are literally different worlds. This artificial grid, this artificial reality, this artificial intelligence has mastered itself with the university system and has forced us, convinced us to worship its artificial existence. And in that program, we have sacrificed our own organic connections to all that is, and our own creative potentials to being connected to a creative intelligence. So if we constantly think that we are a cosmic mistake from the Big Bang, and we're just like, and the water on this planet came from fucking asteroids, what the fuck is going on? Like, these theories that they have for, what happened here are just mind-blowing. They're just so unbelievable. Like, it's really ridiculous. It literally is this wonder bread reality is no different. And they just want to keep on expanding this and changing the tone to make it seem like it's something new. It's not. This is the same shit. We are in the 50s right now with smartphones. Smartphones and social media are the distraction. Smartphones and social media are the drip. They're the slow drip of your experience, thinking that you are engaged in a reality when actually you're just engaged in an artificial reality. You're engaged in the graduation program. If you're like really good at social media, whatever the fuck that means, or if you're really engaged in that, where like you have all this stuff in that reality, then you have really just graduated into the deeper control grid, which is just like pretty much like a maxing out of the physical reality that the artificial physical reality, because the indigenous people, the ancients, the ancestors, they were directly connected to the physical reality from an organic space. This is why the colonial program comes down so hard on the indigenous peoples and your connection to the indigenous people and your connection to what they were connected to. So they demonize everything in that realm in order to keep you locked in to these movie genre focuses. So you're either an action guy, or you're an adventure guy, or an animation, or maybe you're into biographies and you want to know really what happened in the so-called history. This is the History Channel fucking reality. Or you're in Bollywood. Yeah, that's like Hollywood, but it's Bollywood, the Indian version of Hollywood. So it must be real. Like, it must be. Or maybe you're more of a classical person. You only like the classic. Like, who the fuck are you to say what's classic in the first place? Like, that's like pop. Like, whatever pop is. Even comedy, stand-up comedy, it's a limitation grid. Like, this is a flow, this is a style, you have to say it a certain way, you have to laugh at certain things, you have to create this version. You can't talk about certain things. You are limited by what the consciousness of the crowd is, the consciousness of the comedian is, and they find these people who fit in these windows and then amplify them on Netflix or HBO or whatever to make you think that you are a part of this expanded awareness through the biography or the History Channel or the comedian, the comedy consciousness is a stream. It's a stream of consciousness. The comedy circuit is a stream of consciousness that is just like the late night talk show hosts. They had this like this style of interacting, and they share certain perspectives on politics, certain perspectives on religion, certain this and that. This is why Colbert is out there now as an open Catholic, and like he's out, like he's there, but there's a lot of people. He's not really representative of. He's still old school in that sense. This is why they shifted all the late night people from this older community to like these new style of younger people. And Colbert represents he's like a dual hit. He represents a newer funny like a hipper version of the old school community, but he's still old school in that he is still refers to himself as like a Catholic. So that mentality keeps people out there. Everything that he's talking about, it makes this reality, this American dream reality, it makes it more real. It makes it more anchored into this is why they put "In God We Trust" on the money. They have to put this shit on the money for you to create a reality that is based upon the demigod artificial reality control grid. And they keep you in these lower vibrations by telling you who are the criminals in the crime genre. This is why they have all those crime shows on there. And Cops, back in the day when Cops came out, they're telling you subliminally that this is your program. This is the white supremacy program. This is how it works. These are the people who are in charge. This is really to desensitize you and to keep you in this space of lower, like the animalistic mentality. And the owners, the government, the police, the university system, they are your owners, and you have to act like this. If you are free until you get pulled over, and you are not free at all if you are black, brown, if you're a melanated person, period. You have no freedom. You never had any freedom, because the supremacy program has always existed. We've never had a time where we can walk down the street and not have to worry about somebody being afraid of us, or somebody thinking a certain way, or somebody, or a cop pulling up and something like this. Like, that's a whole mentality that the non-melanated people can never have to experience. It's a big deal in relating to the same vibrations of, like, time flies when you're having fun. Like what happens to time when you are constantly bombarded with lower chakra energies, when you're constantly a criminal, like subliminally you're a criminal because everybody on television is a criminal that looks like you, and everybody that's successful doesn't look like you. Like, what does that do to consciousness as a whole? To the majority of people on this planet, once again, we are called minorities. That's another subliminal program. So this is about controlling the psyche. If you control the psyche, you control the consciousness. If you can control the consciousness, you can control time. If you can control time, you can control the entire population and how they experience their reality, to maintain a vibration that allows controllers to exist, a power grid to exist, an artificial reality to exist. And slow, because if time moves too fast, if people think too quickly, they would think themselves out of a control grid. They would move too fast. So this is why you have Netflix out there so big right now with the documentaries that they show. They only show certain documentaries. There's a limit. It's a code. Like, these certain documentaries are only shown on Netflix. Others are only shown on History Channel. Certain other things are only shown on the Discovery Channel. They don't go any further than the physical reality, or what they want you to know, which is this genre coding. The dramatic version of your reality keeps the whole reproduction program going, keeps the whole artificial love program going, having your relationships based upon this bogus ass idea of what love is and what connection is and what all this shit. It's all fucking bogus. The fantasy, even your imagination, is limited by, video games and Lord of the Rings movies and space, so-called space, movies, and the History Channel not even knowing anything. The so-called African American, which doesn't fucking exist. It's a made up thing. That energy so-called comes from the slaveries. Like that when Obama is saying the African American community, he's saying the slaves, the descendants of slaves are dot 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 dot, and the next slave program will be dot 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 dot. And good thing Black Lives Matter exists, because whatever. And then you have the controlled opposition that says, well, Black Lives Matter is out there because George Soros is this and that, and all this is a movie reel inside of that box. Yes, Black Lives Matter is manipulated. Yes, people have to understand slavery. Yes, everything that's being said can be understood. But when you expand outside of that and understand that melanated people were already all over the planet or all over the earth plane before Christopher Columbus, this is all post-Columbian movement, post-Columbian consciousness. This is what this whole thing is. Post-Columbian consciousness, and it keeps you in a vibration that has your consciousness moving on a clock that is not your own. It's not natural, it's not biological, it's not organic, it's not connected to a creative intelligence. It's actually connected to a destructive intelligence we're calling artificial reality. So this is why they amplify horror. Like, what's the opposite of the horror genre? And why isn't that out there? These so-called independent films that are out there. Independent films are like, this is like the outskirts stuff. So people are you can see these as boxes. Like, people fit inside of these folders. It's like, oh, I like horror, I like history, I like fantasy, I like drama, I like independent. And it's not just about the movies; these are about the books too. The books do the same shit. So everybody is boxed in. You have the Japanese anime, you have Japanese storylines, you have Japanese style, and you don't have to be Japanese to like that style. You can like whatever. It like mixes and matches. Either way, you're fitting inside a box. And since it resonates with you, since it's an art, and we've been so the art has been removed so much from our reality that we can't even challenge it. Like, even people listening to this right now are like, oh, you're wrong. Yeah, I love anime. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with anime. What I'm saying is that what would the human potential be if we weren't limited by the way we experience our reality right now? You'd be able to create like 10 times the versions of what anime is today. Be able to create 10 times a version of, like, this is the main thing. Our imaginations are being limited by the way the control grid has put this out there, by this graduation program, by the Big Bang Theory limitations, the evolution theory, the monkey mind, the artificial versions, thinking we're only from monkeys, thinking that other people, other individuals who are pretty much putting themselves out there as guiding our future, like creating our future for us with technology. They are limiting that. The way that exists, it actually limits your your child mind, your conscious mind. It keeps you from expanding outside of the space of lower vibrations. we're not connected. We're not activated. We're constantly connected to these spaces of clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairaudience, consciousness, the cosmic connections to all that is. We're constantly connected to that, but when you are constantly deactivating those energies and not utilizing that muscle, that space as a whole, then you shut it down, and then you lock yourself into the lower spaces, and just leave it to just like reproducing, graduating from high school, going to college, having a baby, and then your universe is now maxed out at just the reproductive physical reality cycle grid. So now you're focused, and you create another God reel. Basically, you are creating like mini gods. So you're when you reproduce, then now you are the God of your child. And now your responsibility is, your whole meaning for existence is this child now, and that's the program they want you to be in this American dream toy reality. So basically, children are treated as toys. Just like this kid likes this bike, and the girl likes the tennis rackets or whatever that is. Can't think of the word. Was that? I don't know. Whatever. Like, they're objects. It's the creation, not the connection with the creator. And the reason why it's literally, that's what it is. It is the creation cycle, recycling program. So these parents go on a date, they get married, they have kids, and then now they're gods. They are the gods, and they don't have to have any connection with creator or creating intelligence, because they got fucking responsibilities now. Like, I gotta take care of these kids. I gotta go to work. I gotta fucking read to them. I gotta get school clothes and backpacks and shit. I got a lot of work to do. Man, this human shit is tough. Like, I can't do this on my own. This is difficult. Like, yeah, yes, that is true. And there's so much more to this reality, so much more to your soul experience. Oh no, don't talk about that shit. Don't go there. What are you talking about? Before I came to this reality. What are you talking about before? Like, this is why it's so difficult for parents to realize, a lot of these kids who are coming here, you didn't create these kids. Like, you didn't make these kids just because you stuck your penis inside her vagina and then this kid popped out of that vagina. Like, you didn't make that kid. There's a fucking soul inside of that kid with a soul purpose, with a soul group that's doing soul work in this consciousness reality that is far beyond this Wheaties box, hot dogs and hamburgers and steak on the grill shit that's going on. It's well beyond that stuff. But since they are God, since the parents are God now, then they're like, oh, well, you're just an angry kid. And then they fucking medicate these kids. This is exactly what this physical reality wants to do. It wants you to shut down. It wants you to be caught up in the prideful ego mentality of, I am your creator, because we are constantly told that by the control grid. Like, they are the creators of this reality, this artificial reality. So we just repeat that pattern and do this and treat our kids a certain way, and it's reinforced because our peers do the same shit. Our ancestors have done this, or not? Yeah, our grandparents, our generations before this. It's a constant thing. And to think outside of that box, to think outside, even to challenge that thought process is taboo. And that's what slows down time. The taboo space, the how we can't even speak. We can't even communicate with each other. You can't even have relationships with people because they think differently, or because somebody else might be challenged by that reality. Somebody else might be even challenged by their presence. That's fucked up, but that's normal. So we've been caught up in this normal idea of our reality, this normal version of, this is our reality. This is all we have to do. And it shuts down consciousness as a whole. It shuts down soul groups. It shuts down soul work. It shuts down everything. All because we are largely fearful of challenging our realities, largely fearful of challenging what we are comfortable with, fearful of challenging what we've built up so much. Like, we've made a castle out of the lower chakras. We made this sand castle out of the root, sacral, and navel, the solar plexus chakra group. And anything that challenges that reality is automatically shut down, avoided, destroyed, demonized, whatever it is. And that happens on an individual space, on a community space, and on a collective space. And when it happens to the extreme versions of our reality, this is what it looks like. You fit in these boxes. If you don't fit in these boxes, then something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. Like, this is, and you can fit in all these boxes. Even if you fit in all these boxes, you're still existing inside a world of limitation, of control. Like, people, this is like it's meant to make you think that you have depth to your reality, because you're not just about drama and fantasy, but you really go into like thriller and independent films and biographies and all this stuff. It's an artificial human experience, and it's triggered by all this shit that's constantly surrounding us. We get bombarded and trapped into the patriarchal program, constantly objectifying women. This is why the porn industry is so big, and why the softcore porn, which is Hollywood itself, that's what Hollywood is. It's just the patriarchal program amplified to create a subconscious version of experiencing our reality based upon a one-sided experience. So they split everything. As long as it's the divide and conquer, from your psyche to your family to the collective as a whole. And this is what technology does. Technology, once they get that smartphone in your baby's hand, 2-year-olds holding onto a smartphone and navigating YouTube to find these videos, listening to these so-called educational videos. Listen to the voices they use on there. There's a very definite genre of child education videos styles. Like, these voices are not universal. They are definitely part of the supremacy program as a whole. Like, it's just it's no different than like when you watch a documentary or a biography on the cosmos, or planet Earth or something like that, when they use David Attenborough as the voice. They use these English accents. Everything that's supposed to be smart has an English accent. Anything that's supposed to be real has an English accent. Anything that is supposed to be scientific or intellectual has an English accent. And the upbeat sort of, hey, take a look at this. What is this? Is that a square? What color is this? Oh, is that blue? That whole fucking mentality gets inside of these kids' heads and says, oh, well, that's who's smarter than me. That's who gives me my information. That's where intelligence comes. That's what intelligence sounds like. That's who I have to be in order to be who I want to be. Because I don't want to be not smart. I don't want to be not like them. I want to be just like them. That is what the supremacy program is all about. So there's all these layers of limitation, these layers of programming that we're surrounded with and bombarded with, and stuff like the globe model as a whole, NASA, like even challenging that reality. That's just another version. Like that grid, the NASA program, exists in order to show you that they have, or present to you an idea that they have maxed out the physical reality by leaving the earth plane, apparently, like supposedly leaving the earth plane and then going into the cosmic, into the infinite future, into outside of the time clock and all this shit. They're telling you they have transcended time, transcended the physical reality. They've transcended the so-called creator, the creator of this reality, and have gone into space. It's all a fucking movie. It's all a big movie. When you go into understanding, like even on psychedelics, this is what psychedelics are for us to see beyond the physical reality, for us to see more of our soul, more of ourselves. But even that is demonized because we are so attached to the lower base, the physical reality. So we say, oh no, that stuff, I'm better than that. Like, I was like, who the fuck? You're better than a plant? You're better than a mushroom? Like, you're better, like, even if you understand it exists, like, there's a fucking fear that's there. There's a fear that's affecting your reality. So that's exactly where they want people to be, though, is to be in that sort of, judgmental state of being, and not being able to let go and get into out of the physical spaces into a higher space. So that's basically it. I didn't really get into what I wanted to talk about time because I guess I'm still putting it together. But how I was seeing it is time as a whole is not linear. We are literally creating time with our moments, with our consciousness. When we wake up in the morning, or so-called wake up in the morning, like, we are experiencing time as we are creating it. It's not that we are experiencing time as it's creating us. No, like, if we can affect time with joy and happiness, then we are actually more involved with time than we have been led to believe. And it's more complicated than that. And why these movies exist the way they do, why the American Dream control grid exists the way it does, is to slow down time so far, to slow down our progress, our movement so much, get us caught up so much in the physical reality, that if we are locked into this artificial technological version of what our reality is based upon, the idea of what our reality is based upon, then that reality can be controlled. Then they can shift the software. Then they can change the hardware, which is what the transhumanism shit is all about. If they can continually think that you are a monkey, that you came from a monkey, and now you would be okay with putting technology in your body because your body is just a monkey body anyway. And you've already been comfortable with sticking a chip inside your dog so when your fucking dog runs away, you can locate it on a GPS. So you're constantly desensitized from your conscious connections, your soul organic connections to a higher creative intelligence, in order for you to be locked into an artificial reality. And once they get you locked into that artificial reality, then they have been ultimately your gods. They've made themselves out to be your god, which is what the smartphone social media shit is all about, because everybody knows they're filtering Facebook. Everybody knows they're fucking with the numbers on YouTube. They're messing with the numbers on videos that you see. Videos that you don't see, they're messing with this. They control your evolution. That is making themselves out to be God. So when they're doing this and you just constantly buy into it and play into that program, then that is what they want. That's what they need in order to maintain their dominance. It's a control grid program. So I was gonna go, and I guess in the next video I was gonna go into. I wanted to do it this video, but in relation to time and separation, that's what it was, because this video has gone long enough. But separation, I was gonna go into like the fallen angel stuff, and then like the like instead of us going time forward from these storylines that happened in the past. Excuse me, we're actually moving time back into like the separation. Like, will we fall? Will we choose to fall away from our organic creative intelligence because we bought into a program? Like, instead of the fallen program happening back then, whenever back then was, when the angels made their escape from source creator and then created this whatever kind of different layers of reality. Instead of that happening back then and time really not existing the way we are experiencing it, does it exist in a way that we are actually moving towards separating, choosing ourselves to separate ultimately from the Most High? That's actually what I wanted to get into in reference to time, but I'll save that for the next video, and let it marinate a little more, because I guess this was the prep work to that. So thank you for joining me, and yeah, until next time, from all my relations, peace, love, and harmony.